I'm sorry. I don't know. Maybe I'm just having a hard time because I'm whining a lot about Riker. And then the next scene, he's in 10 forward with Deanna Troi, and he's whining to her because he doesn't know what he wants. But, okay. I understand she's the counselor. Like, do they only have one counselor for 1,000 people? I guess they don't have as many problems because Roddenberry didn't think there was a lot of conflict, so they may not have as many things they need to talk about, but...
I mean, they've never shown her with a staff.
Yeah.
Like Dr. Crusher has a staff. She has other doctors that work under her. She has nurses. She has a full, is it sick bay, right? And that's for physical injuries. Yeah. But Troi, you only ever see her in her office counseling people individually. So I don't think she has a staff. I think she is the one counselor for the entire ship.
I think it would have been a good idea to have more than one. Not that matters with the writing necessarily, but it's like, with that many people, there was going to be somebody that she could have a conflict of interest relationship with, you know?
Well, it's 100% conflict of interest for her with him because... Yeah. Like, she's his ex. Yeah. I mean, he shows up on the ship the first point and at the first time in Farpoint, and immediately she's talking in his head, Imzadi. Like, that's a conflict of interest.
Yeah.
But again, that's how the show wrote her, right? Like, the show wrote her, right? The first time that we see her and him together, she's like, do you remember how I taught you how to read my thoughts? And it's like... It's the equivalent of, like, remember all those nudes I sent you? And, but like, this scene in 10 Forward is really interesting because when Riker says that, like, he sacrificed a lot and he motions toward Deanna. So in Star Trek canon, and you get this in the books, and they do reference this in other versions, when he was a young lieutenant about to be promoted to lieutenant commander, I believe, he and her had a plan. They were supposed to meet on Risa for, like, this big vacation, and like they were hot and heavy, and they were probably gonna get real serious. And then he basically decided he was offered a chance at a promotion, but he, like, had to take it right away. And instead of, like, because it's super easy in the future to call people. Like, you just send them a message, subspace, wherever they are, and they get it. Instead of, like, even telling her, I'm not going to be able to meet you, he just literally stands her up.
Yeah.
She goes to the planet. She waits for him there. He doesn't show up. And that's the end of their relationship. Like, he completely ghosts out of her life. And he was okay with that decision because it advanced his career. So again, here's the show telling you it's totally cool to treat a woman like shit. Oh, sorry, crap. And it's totally okay to do that.
Rebecca's gonna get buzzed again.
I am gonna get buzzed. I always get buzzed in my potty mouth. It's okay for a man to treat a woman like that because he's advancing his career. But imagine if Shelby did the same thing. Imagine if Shelby ditched a guy. Oh my God, what a you know what, rhymes with
this ice queen.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, like, he out and out stood this woman up, and he was totally fine with it. And he even says, I liked those things about me. You were totally cool with your behavior, bro. Like, and now it's a problem? Like, what is that?
Like, yeah, I was a douche canoe and I liked it.
Yeah.
But no one else can be a douche canoe. At least the fault they've got a vagina. Like, don't you dare be a douche canoe.
Boys will be boys. So
boys will be held accountable for their decisions.
Yes. Okay. She's talking to him not as his friend, ex-girlfriend, more like she's just always in this, like, counselor mode where she talks to people like this, and she says, well, how does that make you feel? Like every TV psychologist asks. Which I had a real one ask me that before. Like, I told her sometimes, she's like, well, how do you feel about that? And I'm like, I just told you all of that. Like, did you not extrapolate any of that from what I just said? It's like, it's such a bullshit answer, and now I just got bleeped. Okay, anyway, sorry.
Haha, we both got bleeped.
So, yeah, fine. Like, I guess she's still like his friend. But, you know, after he's like, oh, I don't know what I want. So then I do like that she asks him again what he wants, because he really needs to figure it out for himself. He needs to stop whining to her. Like, he can whine to her for a little while. That's the thing. It's like, you have friends and they'll let you complain for a while, and then they're like, you know what? I know you can do better. You can do this. I'm rooting for you, kind of thing, you know? And it's like, I'll be here behind you. Just don't worry, you know? Let you wallow and then help you back up, you know? And so she kind of is, to me, sort of tries to do that, you know, the best way they think a lady can, I guess. But because she tells him that he's, you know, he's happier than she's ever known him, and that he's grown so much, which we have seen that. We just discussed that. And that he's comfortable there. And, you know, oh, maybe I'm too comfortable. No, there's not anything wrong with being comfortable. You can get too comfortable sometimes, places, and get in a rut. But there's nothing wrong with being comfortable somewhere.
And, like, if he wants to shake up his career, he can do that.
Yeah.
Like, it is in his power to do it. So, I mean, I think the conversation in 10 Forward is a good one, because I think Deanna does help him kind of analyze his feelings toward himself, toward Shelby, towards his career. Because by the end of the second episode, he's very confident in his decision of what he wants to do. Like, he's extremely confident. And so we could see that, you know, and it's not just this conversation, but everything that happens after that has made him feel much more secure in his position. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's a good moment, certainly between like two people who are, you know, friends, and were one time more than friends. But I think it's a good scene, and I think it helps him kind of start to work out, you know, what he's feeling.
Yeah. I did tell the girls before we started that I had put in the notes, cue straight white man tears, because he was whining. But,
yeah,
you know, I'm just
I cast a lot of straight white man moments in this.
Yeah, so it's like, it's fine. I understand, like, he's got a lot of conflict, and it might have been, that's why they need another, like, counselor, because he really should have gone to somebody who was, you know, could be more, like, objective.
Yeah.
And, you know, be able to be like, so, you know, what do you want? Why do you feel that way? You know, are you sure? Like, can you weigh the pros and cons? Hey, you know, do this and that. And, you know, do you feel like you've grown? Do you think you're ready for this? That kind of stuff. And instead, you know, but like I said, she ends up kind of talking to him like I would hope my friends would, like, if I were having this problem, which I have to say they do, you know. Also, Rebekah, I know you've done this to me too. You know what I mean? Like, it's helpful. It's like, you know, we're gonna pick you up and get you cleaned off, and you're better than you feel right now. You know,
right.
Like, you're so much more than this. So, you know, like, I like that bit of it, but I did think it was kind of funny that she sort of asked him. It was kind of that tropey psychology thing at the beginning, like, well, how does that make you feel?
Right.
How do you feel about that? But yeah, like, I do like that he, like, because he did go to her as a friend, so I do like that he went to her as a friend to talk to her, because I kind of, even how, like, problematic and annoying he can be in the earlier seasons, like, I like that they finally did get together later on, and I like that they stayed, like, best friends the whole time. Like, I just thought that was, I don't know, it was nice, and they could have stayed best friends still into Picard, and I still would have been fine with them just being best friends and not together. But anyway, sorry. I'll stop going into my ships. We'll go back to the actual ship.
Oh, nice pun.
Thank you. So, in engineering, we've got Data and Shelby and Wesley and Geordi. They're doing all this technobabble, and turns out, camera pans around, there's Riker. He's listening in, some other, you know, lieutenants or whoever are behind him, you know.
I made a note that one of the female lieutenants behind him looks super bored. She is just like, I hope I just get my day rate and I can just go home.
She's like, I don't want to wear this jumpsuit
She looks
anymore.
so bored.
Oh, if I hear him say electromagnetic field generator one more time.
She's like so
oh
done.
my gosh, she has like face.
That's so great. So they're thinking if they can break one Borg generator, then another one's going to come up right away without any kind of interruption, because that's sort of how the Borg works. Like, you shoot one, well then there's another one it's his job to kill you this time instead of the other guy, or whatever. So, Riker wants to know how much damage they would need to do to a Borg ship in order to, shut them down for, any period of time, because even a couple minutes would be good for them. Shelby says they could, be down 78%. So that means that the cube could be working on 22% and still be okay. And I'm thinking, I've had cell phones that when they get to 27% and I try to get onto Facebook, it just dies on me. So I'm like,
right?
Good for you, Borg.
What sort of ion lithium battery are the Borg using?
Right? Because it's like, you're not getting a ding, ding. You're at 20%. Plug yourself in. So, he wants to know how long it takes. Geordi thinks it's going to be like 18 months to complete these updates to the weapon systems and all that kind of thing. And what
I really wanted him to say, but you don't have to take my word for it, and that never came.
Oh no, take my word.
That's amazing. I love it. So, and he says that it's designed to, to knock out about as much as like the 78%, basically, about that much. So, they're getting kind of close with what they can do. And Shelby thought that they were projecting 24 months. And I'm like, just say 2 years.
Yeah, really.
Because I feel like, side note, I feel like when people say their children are 24 months or something, I'm like, they're 2 years old.
I was literally just thinking that. Oh, my daughter is like 78 months old. And it's like, just say she's almost 4. Because I guess I'm technically 300 and something months old.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
it's wonderful. It's wonderful. So Geordi and Wesley are like burnout. Both of them. They're like, I'm tired. I can't think straight anymore. I think one of them says their brain is clay or something.
Shut up, Wesley.
Right. And then Shelby's like, well, let's, we should do this. And how about we do that? And, and Riker's like, no, you need to go to bed. And she's just like, but, Data doesn't have to sleep. Let me do this. And he's like, no, that's an order. Instead of letting this woman, stay up maybe an hour or two later, like, and trusting that she knows her, like, capacity, or what, like, she knows herself well enough that she will be responsible enough to get some sleep. He's just, nope, out,
Right. But also, this could also just be a bit of a callback to how much he recognizes himself in Shelby, and that maybe he knows in a situation like this, he would push himself as well to maybe be up for like 48 solid hours. But then when the crisis comes, she's not going to be thinking clear-headed because maybe he's done the same thing. And so just to give him the benefit of the doubt, instead of him just being, big white man and this is what I'm telling you to do, he's just like, look, go to bed now, because probably it's going to take her a while anyway to shut her brain off. Right. This way, at least maybe she can get a couple of hours of sleep instead of just working clear through the night, because she's going to get on a tangent, and when the crisis does come, she won't be clear-headed.
Right, and I understand that because I definitely would do that. But I know that whenever people are gonna do something that I know that I would do, but I don't know if they would. I'd be like, I know if it were me, I would probably stay up later than I intended to, and then I would be working.